Hi everyone, it's Chris again. This is video 5. Today I'm going to talk about um, the recent robbery by police and, diagnosis of PTSD that I've received. So many of you on my Facebook know that recently I have been robbed by police, and this was witnessed by an individual who wrote down a testimony of the date, time, and events that unfolded. What a lot of you don't know is that this is not the first time that this has happened, and so this has happened in the past, and it's also kind of tied in with PTSD diagnosis that's been diagnosed by 2 different physicians, as well as a psychologist. So PTSD, there's different types of symptoms you can get. One of the things that I've had problems with is recurring dreams, nightmares, whatever. But it's the same one over and over and over again. And it was related to the first time I had been robbed by police in Canada. Basically, I was returning home, and I was pulled over by police. Police approached my vehicle and asked me if I had known why they were pulling me over. Shook my head and said no, but I knew that they had been harassing me. One of the officers stated it was because I didn't pay my university taxes. This is an ongoing theme. Many of you have seen the video of a harassing call where they were harassing me about university taxes, which, as far as I know, are a real thing in Canada. It was the same call where they alleged that I was getting a fake tax audit because I was placed on the government watch list. And that video is available on my Facebook and was sent out to many people. And this is an ongoing thing. The university taxes was the explanation given for the stop when I was assaulted in Quito, Ecuador, as well. But the police refused to trace the phone call. So it'd be nice to get to the bottom of it. Anyways, back to my story. So pulled over by police, saying that they stopped me for because of university, I didn't pay university taxes. They asked me to step out of the vehicle. I did, and asked me to step off to the side of the road. So obviously I complied with what they were saying. We stepped off to the side of the road and walked just a little ways into a wooded area. They had asked if I was carrying any weapons. I said no. And one of the officers said, "You should be." He said, "Here, take mine." He then pointed the barrel of the weapon at me as the other officer pulled his firearm out. He unlatched it, pulled it out, and aimed it at me. For obvious reasons, I didn't touch the officer's firearm, despite I refused several times. I was not going to reach for his gun. I think if I had it, it would have been the end of me that night. So in any event, the officers went through my bag. They took a couple of USB drives that I had at the time, and an unknown amount of cash was taken. Which they claimed was for university taxes, so whatever that means. Anyways, these are not real officers. They are dressed like RCMP, but they don't have any name tag, and there was no license plate on the vehicle. Just like in Ecuador, I showed a video of police vehicles outside my hotel with no license plate. There's a picture of one in my book, but there's an actual video that was sent out as well. Of multiple police vehicles are there like all the time, and would give me a hard time. But these are police vehicles with no license plate, and these officers don't wear name tags, so it's different. In any event, this is the thing that started these kind of repetitive dreams and blackouts that started to occur happened shortly after that event in Canada. Now this is not, some of the things that have happened to me are not traditional. As they're saying things, I think I've received some extra unwanted attention for writing my book about a program that they're trying desperately to keep quiet. The program, the Psychological Operations Program, I've talked about the government manual, and I've posted screenshots from the government manual in my book. There's a lot of things that have happened over the last year and a half that I haven't talked about at all, because I try not to think about them, and but in any event, today I'm providing that information because I think people need to know what is happening to people. It's not just me. There's people all around the world that are suffering from this program, so it's time to start speaking out about it. Some of the blackouts in the past, I believe, were because of covert administration of drugs, put me into discrediting type situations. However, sometimes when I think about these types of things, I can experience like a lapse in time, which can last hours. And they trigger these lapses sometimes too. So for example, like the university tax thing is something that they'll bring up, for these things. But then at the end of the situation, like after the assault in Ecuador, after this situation, like they just take a flashlight and they flicker it at you. It's like almost like a flashing LED type light. And that flickering light is just a regular everyday stimuli, so people can flash their lights on cars, right? So as part of the TI program, they call it brighting, right? So for me, like when they pair this everyday normal stimuli to an aversive stimuli, like the incident where I was robbed in Canada, or the assault in Ecuador, whatever. But then when you see flashing lights again, it triggers back that memory. So by pairing an aversive stimuli with an everyday stimuli, you can trigger memories and emotional experiences that are unwanted in the individual. So then they can kind of get the person to relive this by simply having people drive by and just rapidly flickering lights, as an example. So you could say, well, and sometimes it could just be people flickering lights. Right? So you have to always be cognizant of that this is not everybody is involved in this type of thing, but what they are doing is there's a reason why they flicker lights. There's a reason why they keep saying university taxes. It's their way of letting me know that this is related, and same with the incident here in Caracas, Venezuela. So the officer here that robbed me, and again, I was lucky enough to have a witness to write down a testimony of what happened. One of the things he said when he took me aside before he'd gone through my bag is, do you know why we stopped you? I was in a taxi. Again, he said it was because of university taxes. He said just because you leave Canada doesn't mean you don't have to pay your university taxes. So this is an ongoing theme. And again, there's a video of the phone call where they said that I owed university taxes and I was being audited for that reason, and because I had been placed on a government terrorist watch list. This of course happened right after I launched a lawsuit with the university, Dalhousie University. So, and it's not the only time I've been robbed by police. I talked previously about approximately $30,000 of things from U-Haul storage that I received an email were confiscated because my bank cards and stuff had been shut down and I couldn't send the payments home. So they took everything I own. My marriage, my house, my kids, my little boy Luke, my pets, etc., as well as all my personal belongings. So that's what PSYOPs have done. They've left me completely isolated, feeling unsupported, etc. They've made my life a living nightmare. They shut down hot water in my hotel, all means of communication. They make Facebook inaccessible most of the time. Shut down my email accounts, do my telephones. Day 2 or 3 in a hotel. It's day 1 for me. See, I still have lights. Day 2 or 3, they'll steal my lights, shut down the hot water. Sometimes they'll just tell me a half hour before that I have to leave. And the explanation is that it's a short stay hotel. So then I have a half hour to go try to find a taxi, to try to find another hotel, another place to go. I don't have much left other than articles, like some articles of clothing, most of which has been destroyed. But in any event, that's all I'm going to talk about in terms of the PTSD diagnosis, as well as the recent robbery and kind of how this is connected to robbery in the past. And so there's this ongoing theme with the university taxes. And anyways, I don't have anything else.